I am, sir. All recorded. That's good. Okay. I want to do that. All right. So, good morning, everybody. I'm happy that you're up nice and early to listen to me. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to be all over. I've got tons of notes here, and let me start off by saying this. You know, I was with Joe Spallino last night, a great gentleman who I work with, who's a great leader, and he's dynamite to run with and build. And we just had a tremendous in-home last night. We really rocked and knocked it out of the park. I still believe that's one of the greatest ways to build the business via in-homes and so on and so forth. And you know, there's no sense of urgency here. It's an emergency. So let me repeat that. You know, we used to say, hey, there's a sense of urgency in building. I think it's more of an emergency in the fact that because we do have a period of time, that 15-month period before our coin goes public. So there's this sense of emergency that we have to go out and work. I think we could all agree upon that, correct? So I want you to understand this phrase, and that is, I want you to be jealous with your time. You need to be jealous with your time and understand what to do in order to accomplish what you want to accomplish. Because let's face facts. Everybody is here on a Saturday morning. In New York, it's 10 a.m. Wherever you are in the world, it's a different time, but it's, you know, whatever it is, we're here listening to the message that I have to share with you, and it's because you want more. You want this business. You want to do more. I think we could agree upon that, correct? With that being said, everybody needs to understand that what we do every day and during the week is important. Let me share a little story with you. I came into this business in 1989, the network marketing profession. Let's put OneCoin cryptocurrency aside. So I came into this business in 1989 with a little company called Nu Skin. I worked diligently for 3 years, and then I left. I made a silly decision, and then I went into the financial world. But nevertheless, when I left, another gentleman came on board, Nathan, and just an unbelievable rock star. And here's Nathan's story, which is very interesting. In the first 90 days, he enrolled, recruited, whatever word you would like to use, 33 people. 33. Everybody with me? 33 people. But what he did, out of those 33, about 4 to 6 stuck, stayed with it, were the leaders. And he drove those lines down, drove those lines deep. And that's one of the things we have to realize. Your wealth will come from the depth of your organization. But 90% of your time right now is spent doing one thing. One thing. And that one thing is recruiting every day, going out and prospecting. And I think sometimes people have somewhat of a a misconception. We are recruiters. That's what we do. We need to come to that realization. We are recruiters. Mike, you and I talked about that. That's what we do. We recruit. So with that being said, 90% of your time is spent that way. And the other thing we have to realize too is that more we advance people in rank, how many sapphires can you break a month? That's the ticket. I want you to think about that. What does it take to break a sapphire? If you're not a sapphire, you need 2 people. You could look on our Facebook page. There's some graphics there and so on and so forth. It's not difficult. There's 4 little steps. You need to sponsor 2 people, help them sponsor 2 people, each with trading packs and blah, blah, blah. So it's not that difficult. But the point is, when someone comes on, the quicker we get them to sapphire and drive those lines and teach them how to do that, you will create that duplication in your organization. It will just take off. But we need to be conscious of the fact that our job every day. And that's one of the things I'm just, sometimes I've got to go the other way because I'm just a madman. I've got my headset on every day, right? I'm a madman with sponsoring and recruiting and this and that and everything. That sometimes I forget, I've got to go work with my people, So I want to start this off by saying there's an emergency here. We do have a time frame. That doesn't mean it stops after 15 months. In fact, driving to Joe's house last night, I had this vision. I want you to listen to this a second. I had this vision, and my vision was, I want you to think about this, guys. Starting in January and so on as we go on, we're going to start to bring on merchants. Can you imagine if I go to Margie, and Margie owns a Mercedes-Benz dealership in town here, and I say, Margie, I'm with this particular company that we've developed our own currency, cryptocurrency, blah, blah, blah. We've got 10 million, 15 million people in a community. Are you willing to accept this currency so we can put you on our website? So if someone chooses to buy a car, they can go to your website and you can accept the coin. Can you imagine that? And that dealership is in your organization, and every time someone goes to purchase a car, you get a cha-ching from it. I mean, this is, I was on such a high last night thinking about this and the magnitude of it and the unbelievable magnitude. Okay, so let's just getting back. I just want to back up a second to the realization that there's an emergency, sense of urgency, however you'd like to label it, to work diligently over the next 15 months. I don't want you to look at 15 months. I just want you to look at 90 days. In fact, don't look at 90 days, look at 30 days. And come to the realization that what we need to do and what everybody needs to do and understand that our responsibility, 90% of our time, 90, not 10, not 20, not 30, but 90% of our time is spent recruiting, which I'm going to get into in a second. I've got some things I want to go through with you, but 90% of our time is spent recruiting. This is, what the interesting part is, guys? Two things. There's nothing magical. There's nothing mystical. There's nothing scientific about our business at all. Nothing. There's nothing magical, mystical, nothing at all. It's simple. And again, I go back to Nathan, enrolled 33 people in 90 days, drove the lines for about 4 to 5 lines, drove them deep. Why did he drive them deep? Why did he drive them deep? He drove them deep to start creating leaders over leaders over leaders over leaders. And created a what? A power line. Does everybody get that? A power line. A power line. A power line. If you can get the fact and understanding that your wealth will be created from the depth of your power line. I sponsor Raul. I get him to Sapphire. Raul sponsors Cynthia, gets her to Sapphire. Sponsors Margie, sponsors Bridget. Boom, 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 boom. Eventually, then Ruby over Ruby, Emerald over Emerald, Diamond over Diamond. Raul, you don't have to work again in your life. Have a nice day. It's just, it's not magical. It just isn't. It's simple business. We've got to come to that realization that 90% of our time is spent recruiting or showing the plan, right? Show the plan, show the plan, show. That's all. It's not that complicated. Now, there are different ways to do it and so on, which I want to talk to you about. So, okay, let's move on. So, remember again, be jealous of your time. Be jealous of your time. I want you to quote me on that. Always remember that. Be jealous of your time. Learn how to say no. And a lot of people, because of the warmth in their heart, they don't know how to say no. You've got to be able to say no. This is what I'm doing right now. Remember the one thing. By the way, if you haven't read that book, you should read that book. That book is absolutely phenomenal. The One Thing by Gary Keller, which is just absolutely incredible. So let's talk about this now for a second. I look at this business in actually a couple of little steps. Pretty simple. You need structure, you need accountability, right? And this is for the new people. For the new people that just got started, you're just coming on board, or you're peeking into this, correct? We want you to go and build your list and make that list over 200 people. We get that. And there's a reason why for that. There's a reason why. And I said to someone the other day, I said, we don't need equity in this business, Steve, do we? We don't need equity to start it for the most part. And I'm not talking about investing in cryptocurrency, but for all intent and purposes, our business is not like if we opened up a traditional business and we needed $50, $100, $200, $300,000. It's not like that. But where our equity lies, it's important. I want you to follow me here. Where our equity lies is in how big the new individual, the new business owner, the new independent marketing affiliate, how big they build their list. 1 + 1 does not equal 2 in this business. 1 could equal 20. 1 could equal 30. 1 could equal 40. In my first 30 days, or I don't know, it was 45 days, I think I enrolled 45 people. So 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, right? That's the power of that. So you get someone the other day, someone told me, oh, I put my list together, it was 17. Oh, really? 17? The average individual knows 200 to 300 people. But if I've got a list of 200 people and I come out of the gate and I call a minimum of 25 a week for the next 4 months, that person is rolling 20 to 30 people. And whoever doesn't enroll, and if I ask them, who else do you know? You never have to do anything else. You don't have to be on the NFL list, no friends list. So that's important, number 1. Number 2, we need some structure and accountability. The structure is, when do we work? When do we work? Number 2, it's the accountability. How many people do you want to talk to a week? Now, let me give you it just the way it is. Here, you ready? You want to blow this out of the park? Now, many of you have heard me say this, right? That stands for 2 per day. Many of you heard me talk about, I always said it for the last 10 years, 2 per day will bring freedom your way. For those of you that want to really knock it out of the park, really crush it, do something like what Nathan did, and many of us that are working towards. You can get to 10 per day, 5 days a week. If you can compress time, Stephen, this is for you. You ready? If you can compress time and I'm going to tell you how to change your business right now. Right now. Write this down. If you can do 100 exposures, now, this is not for everybody. But if you could learn how to pack in 100 exposures in 10 days, or 200 exposures in 10 days, that's 10 to 20 exposures a day, and pack it in like crazy and then do the follow-up. This is what I taught for years. And do that for a month or 2 or 3. Everybody watching me right now should be an emerald or a diamond. Everybody. It's all it is. Again, it's because what are you looking for? You're looking for the leaders. You're looking for the people that will walk away, that will say, hey, hey, Marge, I got this. I understand it. I'll call you when I need you. One of those type, which is fabulous. So that compression of time, our business we're in a momentum dependent business. Speed is our friend. It's no different than if each and every one of us are getting on a plane right now and we're taking off and we're going to, and the pilot is taking the throttle and moving it down so he can lift that 250,000 pounds of metal off of the ground. But he can't keep the throttle down forever, can he? He'll go out of gas. It's the same thing with us. If you could sprint 30 days, 60 days, 90 days max, do it again in a year, settle in, support your organization, then do your 2 per day. I mean, really give it a compression. Here's why. Faster, And I know Eric Worre is talking about this in Vegas right now, Mike. Faster is better than slow. I rather get a root canal than to do this business slow. It's exhausting. It really is. And it's so much easier if you learn how important it is to compress time. When you compress time, magical things happen. Magical things happen. You get more people, you sift through, and you develop more leaders. So you've got structure, you've got accountability. Now let's talk about, I want to share with you, I spend a lot of day, and I'll do anywhere from 10 to 15 exposures a day. Yesterday was the first day that I didn't do them. You know that? I'm really pissed at myself right now. But I did my 2. I did my 2 per day. I did that at best. I did 2, right? But usually I'll do 10 to 15 a day. Boom, 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 boom. And I get it out of the way in the morning, and then I go do my meetings and so on and so forth. Now, I don't know how you do it, but let me tell you one of the ways that I like to do, and I kind of mix it up a little bit, right? So I don't know if any of you have ever used a sizzle call, but I'll get on the phone, with my prospect. I'll have my headset on, and what I'll do is I'll turn and I'll say, hey, Mike, you know what? I'll just ask him, hey, what do you know about cryptocurrency, blah, blah, blah. Start a little, hey, you know what? I want you to listen to something for 3 minutes. I press flash on my phone. I dial a sizzle call. I'll post the numbers of the sizzle call after, okay, on our Facebook page. I'll do that after. So sit tight. You don't have to worry about that. I'll do that after. So I press flash on my phone. I let my prospect listen, and I just sit back. I sit back. Maybe I might go get a drink or something like that. It's actually about 5 minutes or so, right? It's a really cool call. And I let them listen to it. I come back and I say, what caught your interest? What caught your interest? And then normally I always love to use these words. These words always work. Please write this down. Hey, Mike, can I make a recommendation? Let's get together. Let's grab a cup of coffee. Now, if you're geographically you can't drive, then you'll do something else. But I've always wanted to, and after this, I'm out of here. I've got meetings out of the office all day, and I'm going to go see some great people. And that's how I do. I like that. I'm pretty intense. My passion. So I like to sit down in front of someone. Starbucks is starting to charge me rent right now because I think I'm at every Starbucks in New York and Long Island, all over the place. But I like that sizzle call. It gets them to hear it. It's auditory. I come back. I ask them, what caught your attention? Not did you like it? Never did you like it. What caught your attention? What did you like best? What resonated with you? Pretty forward thinking, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll listen. We'll have a little conversation. Mike, there's a lot here. The magnitude of this is just beyond. Can I make a recommendation? Let's grab a cup of coffee. We'll roll up our sleeves. I'll walk you through it. We'll go from there. Anytime I use that phrase, can I make a recommendation? I've never, ever had someone say no. I've never had someone say no, ever. Now, if the person geographically might be too far, then what I'll do is, hey, Mike, can I make a recommendation? Sure, Bob. If I shot you an email with a couple of links, a couple of videos to take a look at, would you look at it within the next hour? What did I say that was so compelling? The next hour. There's a sense of urgency here. There's a sense of urgency. I've got something that could change this individual's life, that could literally change this individual's life. Well, I can't look at it. Okay, can you look at it today? And then I set up a time to chat tomorrow. And that's the next thing. All of these things, this is the system of education for our business, okay? I don't hang up the phone with Mike until I bam-fammed him. B-A-M, F-A-M. B-A-M, F-A-M. Book a meeting from a meeting. So right now I'm on the phone. That's a meeting, right? Now I want to book to another meeting. So Mike, what's a good time tomorrow that we could chat? I'm available at either 12 noon. I could do 6 also. What's best for you? Because we live in this world of technology. We get voicemails and this and that. And ugh. So you want to try to eliminate that as best as possible. So I'm slowly taking Mike through the process. Sizzle call. If I can get together with him, I get together with him. If not, I'll shoot him a link. I like using either, our 16-minute video. I also like using Alan Delaney's webinar or Zoomcast. I think that's absolutely fascinating. He's done a great job with that. I like using that as well. So that's very, very good. But either way, I'm taking Mike through a series of steps. Please remember this. Write this part down here. Multiple exposures. This is important now. If you can get this part also, this is a game changer. This is the part that I'm looking at a Mercedes outside of my driveway that I won in our previous venture. And the reason why I won it because I was the top recruiter, and I learned this part. And this part is multiple exposures in a very short period of time. Let me repeat that. Multiple exposures in a very, very short period of time. Multiple exposures in a short period of time. So, Mike, sizzle call. If I can get together with them, great. If I can't get together with them, link. Call. 3-way call. Maybe another link. Then maybe get together. Boom, compressed in 4 or 5 days. The average person needs to see something how many times before they can make a commitment? 4 to 7 times. 4 to 7 times. We have to understand that. That's important. Okay? So don't expect, it's very rare that, as soon as you show someone something that, oh, I'm in. It very rarely does it happen like that. Some people it does. Like, for example, Joe last night did a great job. He did a phenomenal job last night. And I'm going to brag right now. Everybody in his home came in last night. Everybody. We rocked. Actually, we crushed it. I mean, I came home on such a high. It was unbelievable. And I mean, people coming in for tycoon packages and infinity packages. It was really, I'm thinking about it. But what Joe did, which was so cool though, is that what he did is he also, the people that were there looked at 1 or 2 videos. So what he did is this last night was the validation, kind of like what Tom does during the week, right? On his Zoomcast, same thing. So it was fabulous. So we have to understand that multiple exposures in a very short period of time is really the essence, is so important. So important. So, okay, so let's keep going on. I've got some other things, and I like giving you a lot of stuff. Rather than staying on one topic, I want to give you a lot of different things, okay? So again, that little process, here we go. Write this down. So you got structure, accountability. So if you don't know what structure is, here's what structure. Structure. Raul, when is your business open? When is your OneCoin enterprise open? When are you going to work it today? That's the structure. Most people have structure every day, right? They go to work. They're up at 6:37. They're in work by 9. They take a break at 10. They have lunch at 12. They take another break at 3. They leave at 5. They're in their car. They're home at 7. Boom. They very rarely make decisions for themselves. But we come to them and we say, Steve, you could be in this business and be your own boss and be free. Ugh. And we don't give them any structure. We need to ask our people, When is your business open? When are you working it? So we need structure, accountability. Accountability is the 2 per day, 10 per day, 5 per day, whatever it is. Then we've got to, present, right? We just talked about that. And then the last thing, don't ask if it works. Ask if it duplicates. Don't ask if it works. Ask if it duplicates. Don't complicate this. I complicated it years ago. Don't complicate it. Ask if it duplicates. What I do with Raul has to be able to do with Cynthia. What Cynthia does with Marge has to be able to do with Bridget. What Bridget does with Jeff has to be able to do with Crystal. Blah, 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 and so on. Don't ask if it works. Ask if it duplicates. Keep it simple. That's why we use tools. Tools keep it simple. Tools get the personality out of it. Anybody could drive people to our Zoomcast with Tom every week. Everybody can do that. Everybody can give a video. Everybody can get someone on a sizzle tool. Simple. Take the tool out of it. You want to take the tool out of it. If you've got someone with a 1 personality, someone with a 10 personality or a 10 posture and a 1 posture, when you use a tool, they both come to a 5. It's duplicatable. I could do that. That's what you want people to say. I could do that. I know how to do that. I could do that. If they say I can't do that, then you just giving them too much. You got to keep it simple. Here, listen to this. Here, watch this. Here, come to this Zoomcast. Simple. Keep it simple. So duplication, okay? All right. And then, and please don't, and probably one of the best things is whether you drive them to the Zoomcast every week, whether you drive them to the Zoomcast, but the other component in those multiple exposures, the other component that sometimes we lack and probably is one of the most powerful way, and I take my hat off to Joe, because, I mean, I'm just on the phone with him all day long. Hey, Bob, I need you on a call. Bob, I need you on a call. Bob, I need you on a call. Bob, you got to come with me to a meeting. Bob, you got to come with me. He's running me ragged, and I love that. I absolutely love that. But the greatest tool in our profession is the most underused tool. And the greatest tool that can make everybody right now on this Zoomcast successful is a 3-way call. Is a 3-way call. And there is a lot of science. I think that's what I'll talk to. I think that's what I'll do next week. How about that? Next Saturday, we'll go into the science. Someone, maybe Steve, you'll remind me, or Mike, you'll remind me of that, to really go into the science of a 3-way call and how to do that. I mean, to really do it as a pro, a real pro. There is a science to it. And those that have built massive organizations have mastered 3-way calling. And it's something that tends to be so underused. And I know why, I know the reasons, I won't get into that. But if you want, next week we can really talk about that and go through the science of 3-way calling and how powerful it is. Is that fair? Good, I can all hear you. Okay, cool. All right, I want to go through a couple of other things for a second. And you know, guys, I could sit here and I could chat with you for the next 3 to 4 hours. And I love this. I've made this a study. I've made this profession a study probably over the last 8 years. I mean, in an intense way. I have a library over there with tons of books, and I've read and I've read. And what's interesting is that everybody on this Zoomcast right now, everybody, I know in my heart, can be wildly successful. Can be wildly successful. I know that everybody on this Zoomcast, everybody can be a diamond, blue diamond, black diamond, crown diamond. Everybody on this Zoomcast in 15 months can own 200, 500,000 coins. Everybody can. Everybody can. Provided you bring one thing to the table. Does anybody know what it is? You want to type it in? Can I see it? No? Anybody want to type it in before I tell you what it is? Well, self-motivation. Every one of you have desire. Confidence, belief. Michael, the belief, yes. Confidence, yes. We all have desire. Mike, we talk about that, right? We all have desire, you know, we all have desire to have more. Everybody wants 500,000 coins, 1 million coins. Everybody wants to be a blue diamond. Everybody wants to be a diamond. Everybody does. Everybody has a desire. That's why you're here. But you know what the difference is? I want to help you with this because I read about this stuff every day. It's intense to me. It's the self-motivation, not motivation, self-motivation to get you up and go every day. You come home from work, if you work an 8 or 9 hour job and you still have to do your 2, 3, 4 exposures, or you do this full time and you want to do 10, 20, 30 exposures. That self-motivation is the deal. That self-motivation is what drove my friend Nathan. Here's what he said to himself. He sponsored 33 people in 90 days, drove the lines. He says, I want to make $100,000 a month. This was back in 1990. I want to make $100,000 a month within a year, because he only had a certain amount of money to live on. And he got to 99,000, I think, in $500 or whatever it was. But he worked. He had that self-motivation. I love Holton Bugs. Holton Bugs, over $1 million a month in another company. Intense self-motivation. Everything I've already talked to you about means squat. If you don't bring that self-motivation to the table. I don't mean to get deep here, but you know what? It's what starts everything. What starts everything. Don't go to bed at night until you do your 2 exposures. Forget about 10, 20, 30 a day. You know, that's for the really, really motivated, right? Really motivated. But you can't go to bed at night until you do your 2 exposures every day. Don't go to bed. And as I said to my friend the other day, I think I said this last week, I said if OneCoin came out and said, hey guys, we'll pay you $500 for every exposure you do, you have to do 14 a week, everybody would do 2 exposures a day. We need to know that, and that's how you have to look at the business. So let's talk about, just for a minute, and by the way, self-motivation, I think I posted on our Facebook page, the Cryptocurrency Economic Group. On that page, if you scroll down, there is an article that I posted, I think, last week, which was phenomenal. And the article was 10 ways to self-motivate yourself. 10 ways. It's fabulous. So you guys can go there later. You could look at that. It's really a great article. In fact, I keep it in my journal, right? I printed it out, and it's actually this. So if you can see that, I keep it in my journal, and it's not in my. So you can go print it out there, okay? I did it for you guys, right? Okay. So let me go a step further. Let's talk about for a minute. And you know, what's interesting too. It's not that difficult to get to $10,000 a month. Bridget, the name of the Facebook page, and you have to be added to it because it's a private group page. If you friend me on Facebook, Bobby, B-O-B-B-Y, Sagar, S-A-G-A-R, I will then add you to that page. But the name of it is the Cryptocurrency Economic Group. You're welcome. Now that I lost my train of thought for a minute, I'm not blaming you, Bridget. It's not that difficult to get to 10,000 a month. It's not. It's not that difficult to get to 10,000 a month. And the actual number, the number is about 60 to 75 people in your group. That's first number. First number. The second number is this. The second number is this. Is that we have to realize this, and we have to come to this realization that each and every one of us, we're all independent. This is a volunteer army, right? It's kind of like herding cats a little bit, but it's a volunteer army. But we're each in our own independent business. We're each in our own home-based business. But no matter if it's a home-based business, traditional business, whatever it is, every business has to have what? Sales. Sales. Every business thrives on sales. Nothing else. So I'm going to ask each and every one of you this. How much did your business do in the month of November in sales? Educational packages. Did you do 30,000? Did you do 1,500? Did you do 160? How much did you do in your business? Because the speed of the team or the speed of the leader will depend upon the speed of the team. I've always believed that. But you have to realize this is a business, and a business thrives on sales. So if you do the math, right? If you do the math and you take about, if you take about 75 people with your legs, with your left leg, right leg, balance, 75 people, I believe everybody very easily, 75, hold on, everybody should do $1,500 a month. Dollars, if you're in another country, do the conversion, whether it's euros, whatever it is, or pesos, whatever. But we should each do $1,500 a month. So at best, that's a starter and a pro trader, correct? Starter and pro trader, okay? At best, we should strive for $1,500 a month. With 75 people, that's $112,000. Divided by two, that's $56,000 on one leg, $56,000 on the other leg. So you earn 10% of that, right? Let's just call it $6,000. Add in the check matching, that'll bump it up probably another $2,500 to $4,000. Done deal. There's your $10,000 a month. You don't need massive amounts of people. And I have to tell you, the one thing that I love about this business, the one thing that I love is that because of the size of the packages, the volumes are enormous. The volumes are enormous. Just imagine what could happen when you have 2,500, 6,000, 10,000 people in a group. Do the numbers. But you have to lead. If you're here with me today, this morning, you have to lead your business. You have to lead your business and say, okay, how much sales did I do this month? What's your goal? That's important that we understand that. And you know what solves that? Actually, you don't have to think about that. Let me tell you how to just forget about that and just do probably 5,000 or 10,000 a month. If everybody learned how to do what?
Bury the foundation.
2 per day. It's just
That's 2 per day.
Because I go back, Stephen, right? I go back and hold on one second.
I forgot to open the meeting.
1 second. I go back and I think about this. That is the basis of everything. Because when everybody's doing the 2 per day, 14 a week, out of the 14 a week, you've got 5 people that will say, Cynthia, Crystal, Mike, let's sit down. I'm interested. You got my attention. And when you sit down with 5 people a week, everybody is bringing in anywhere from 3 to 5, maybe even 6 people every month. Who's coming in for a starter? Who's coming in for a trader? Who's coming in for a pro trader? Easy to do $1,500 a month. Not difficult at all. It's the 2 per day. My friend Onyx Cole got involved in this industry probably about 10 years ago. Stayed with one company for 6 years. She made $9 million. She learned 2 things. 2 things she learned. She taught her team 2 per day, and she taught them how to invite correctly. She taught them, Diane, how to say the right words. Hey, Steve, what do you know about cryptocurrency? What's that? Hey, did you know blah, blah, blah? Hey, Steve, what do you know about Bitcoin? Did you know when that came out when Satoshi Nakamoto submitted a white paper? We don't know if it's a man, a woman, a group, but all of these people, some people said it was a scam, but the people that got it, it went from a cent to $1,223, and he who put in $1,000 walked away with $8 million. He who put in 10 grand walked away with 160 million. And the Winklevoss twins started Facebook, own $400 million worth of Bitcoin today. Might be a little too late for Bitcoin, but we got a second chance. Are you open to take a look at something with a magnitude that is probably going to change the global economy? Wow. Sure. Tell me. Tell me. I'm all ears. Tell me. And with that passion and those words, 2 per day, learn how to invite. Everyone will do 1,000, 2,000, 3. Not hard to get to 10,000 a month. But your team will follow you. And there's one thing that solves everything in this business. One thing. New blood. New blood. Steven, this week, I don't know what your numbers are, but you know as well as I do, if you brought in possibly 3, 4, 5 new people, you're on cloud 92 right now. Cloud 92. It's a numbers game. After a while, you know what? What you lack in skill today, you make up in numbers. That's it. So what you have to get to the point is, I want to start to put this together now. Get to the point where you start to understand your ratios. So if I said, Sandy, do you know your ratio? Well, if you're in baseball and you get up 10 times, you get 3 hits. Or if you get up 10 times, you get 2 hits. They pay you $8 million, right? Same thing. Out of how many exposures will you enroll someone? It's your ratios. And it's the consistency. This business will rip your guts out and tell you what you're worth. That's why I love it. Challenges me every day of my life. Every day of my life, it challenges me. And it's just absolutely fascinating. So I know deep in my heart, that everybody that is on with me today, everybody from around the world, can be a diamond, a blue diamond, a black diamond. Everybody. It all starts with those 2 words. It all starts with that self-motivation. That's it. That's the deal. Starts with self-motivation. Then we can go into the structures. Structure, accountability, build the list, prospecting, present, duplicate, back again. Teach the people to do the same thing over and over. Don't overcomplicate this. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. It's not complicated. It's a simple business. It's not easy. Why isn't it easy? It's not easy from the personal standpoint, that sometimes maybe an individual is not self-motivated. And someone asked me the other day, how do I motivate myself? I said, you have 3 hours? We can talk about that. But I think self-motivation comes from a number of different things. I don't know if you've ever done a vision board before. I live with my vision board. I love my vision board. My vision board comes with me everywhere. I could turn around and show it to you, but I don't want to do that because you're not supposed to. It has to do with your goals that are written down, and I write my goals or rewrite them at least once a month, adjusting them constantly and doing those things that only 3%, maybe 5% of the world does. So yeah, it's a simple business. It's not complicated. Simple, ridiculously simple. It's not brain surgery or heart surgery. Although I think I could do heart surgery. I think I could possibly do that too. But anyway, it's simple. It's not easy. And it's not easy from the standpoint that it requires self-motivation. Self-motivation. So if there's a lack on your part, sit tight. This is a new book that I'm reading by one of my coaches. And I've had the pleasure of him coaching me over the years. I was invited on one of his hero calls, which was fabulous. And he sent me this book the other day. I wish I was with him in Vegas right now, but I'll be there next year with you guys, right? We're all going together next year. All of us, we're going to Vegas. You see that book? You see it? Mach 2 with your hair on fire. The Art of Vision and Self-Motivation by Richard Bliss Brooke. It's a fabulous book. It's awesome. I love this book. I actually listened to it on audio back in 2013, and it got me to really craft out my vision that I have read every day for almost the past 4 years. Every single day, over and over. So guys, it all starts with self-motivation. It all starts with, what you want, and everybody can have whatever you want in this business. So let's have some fun here for a second. Steve, can you unmute yourself? You got it? Just look to the side here. The bottom. No, or else I'll do it. You get it? Hold on. I have to find you, Steve.
Okay.
All right, Steve, you're up.
Here.
You like sharing anything, Steve?
What's that?
Like sharing anything?
Do I want to share anything?
Yeah.
Well, don't let your past affect your future.
Ooh. Oh.
You know, because if you think about it, today is life, and your future has not been written. In fact, the guy says, life is empty and has no meaning. And a lot of people base everything on the past, but really, if you think about it, your future is empty out there, has no meaning until you do what?
Something.
You got to put a dream out there, don't you?
Dream.
Okay? You got to have a dream strong enough that when you take these things that happen to your past that become roadblocks, you can bust through them to achieve your dream.
Steve, I learned a phrase many years ago, and that you reminded me of something. And one of my greatest mentors in my business career and in my life was Jim Rohn. And I remember the day he passed away, December 8th, I think it was December 4th, I think it was 2008. I'll never forget that. I was having an event here at our home with my other business, and he passed away. But I remember him, a lot of my inspiration and words and everything I got from him. And he said, it's not what determines how your life works out. It's what you do about it.
That's right.
It's not what determines how your life works out. It's what you do about it. And then the real phrase, Steve and everybody, that changed my life was this. And I'll never forget, I was actually at a seminar with him when I was in the financial and insurance world, right? It was in Dallas. I'll never forget it. I could still picture the room. And he was up there. And I know he was looking at me. I know he was looking at me. And he said this, 2 phrases. You ready? This is the part that changed my life. Changed my life. He said, work harder. He said, work harder on yourself than you do at your job.
Amen.
Work harder on yourself than you do at your job, number 1. And then he said, a formal education will make you a living, but personal development will make you a bloody fortune.
That's right.
When I heard those 2 things, boom, it hit me. And I stepped into the room. So I'm no different than anybody here. We're all the same. I just read like crazy and read and learned and educated and it did get to a point in my life where I just constantly did. I said, enough, I got to apply some action, I got to apply some action. I got to go to work a little bit, right? But when I learned that from him, it was just, it's not what determines how your life works out. It's what you do about it. Yeah. A formal education will make you a living, but personal development will make you a bloody fortune.
Why is that, Bobby?
Why is what, Steve?
Personal development making fortune. Because if you think about it, it's our subconscious. It's our subconscious, our habits that we develop in our lives that interfere with things. So why not create new habits? And it's very simple to do. You don't have to start big. Start small. Say, I'm going to get up, and my business starts at 7 in the morning, and I am going to do this. Get that down. Go to the next thing.
Right.
Okay?
And it takes 66 days, Steve, to create a new habit. 66 days to create a new habit. But, Steve, the other thing, too, is, you asked me, why is it? And, Steve, where are you from? Where do you live?
I live in Michigan. I live in a little town called Pittsburgh, 250 population, including dogs and cats.
Okay, so we're a little bigger here in New York.
Yeah. Been there.
Just a little bigger. But, like they talked about in our country, in America, for those of you that are in other parts of the world, raising the minimum wage. I'm not going to get into politics or anything, but my philosophy is, let's just have them read another book.
Yeah.
Let's just have them grow. And when you grow, you become more valuable. And when you grow, you become more valuable to society. When you grow, you become more, you're worth more, and you could share more. And that's, listen, if you work at McDonald's and you wear a hat and you smile, they'll pay you more.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
Well, that's what Jim Rohn said, isn't that the value in the marketplace? What is your value?
That's it.
You can change your value just by personal development.
So, hey guys, I hope you got a lot out of this today. We'll do this every Saturday. So thank you, Sandy. So here's the game plan. Okay. We prospect during the week. We build our business during the week. We train on Saturday. I need a day off on Sunday. It's just the way my makeup is. I need to rest a little bit, right? So we train during the week. We drive. We do our exposures. Drive. Let's get. Hi, Xavier. Let's get, drive a lot of people to Tom's Zoomcast like crazy. I love being on there with them. Drive a lot of people. Boom, 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 boom. Saturday we train. Do it over again. Boom, 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 boom. Saturday we train. So I'll do this every Saturday until. And guys, it's the self-motivation that will get you there. There's no reason why each and every one of you, each and every one of us, my goal is to be diamond by February 21st. Gee, I told you, I can't believe that. Oh boy. Oh boy. So I got a crank, and it's just massive action. That's all it is. It's massive action. And I know, Michael, you're right behind me, right, brother? You're right there. But everybody on this call right now, you could be diamond. You could be blue diamond, crown diamond. You could own, 200, 300, 500 million coins by the time we go public. No reason why. It's about that self-motivation. I could teach you everything else. It's difficult for me. I could teach you the self-motivation, but you got to do it. You really have to do it yourself. Don't miss out on this. This is big. The magnitude of this is bigger than you know. As Jason says, it's bigger than you know and better than you think. I love that phrase that he put together. It's just fabulous. But that's a big deal. Don't let this slip. Don't let a day slip by that you do not do a minimum of 2. Okay? Have a great Saturday, everyone. We'll rock and roll. Take care. I got to go rock. Bye-bye.